Blessings to the tribe and peace to the family. This is your Apostle Blacksmith. Trust you family are doing okay. I'm back with another video. On this video, I'm talking about the three main ways you can grow in the seer dimension. So if you are a seer or you are a believer who is interested in the seer gifting, these three things I'll be teaching you on this particular video that will help you to grow and to be more established or to be consistent in the seer dimension. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing that you must do if you want to be established in the seer dimension, if you want to move frequently in the seer dimension, and if you want to be, more importantly, if you want to be accurate in what you see in the seer dimension, is that you must give yourself to intercession. You must give yourself to prayer. Right. In fact, to be more specific, I think it's good when I'm using the word intercession or instead of just saying prayer, because when I'm saying prayer, you might do personal prayers and whatnot and become selfish in your prayer life and think that you are actually, no, I took it, I used it, and it's not working. Remember, when we are talking about interceding, we are talking about standing in the gap for someone else. You're standing in the gap for another person. You're standing in the gap for a nation. You're standing in the gap for your family. You're standing in the gap for your city. But when you are interceding, you are not praying for yourself. So that's one of the things about a seer. A seer is the eyes of the Lord on earth. So when God has given you the seer gifting, whether you're a prophet or not a prophet, but if you have the gift to see, you must understand that your primarily calling is a call to prayer. It's a call to intercession, because seers, they are watchmen. Seers stand in the gap, right? So if you want to grow and you want to be established in the seer dimension, you need to be a selfless person in the place of prayer. A lot of people want to be used by God in the seer dimension, but they are too selfish. Their prayer is full of me, myself, and I. But at the same time, they want God to use them in the seer dimension. And the other thing is, when you are a seer, there will be no point, there is no point for you to see things that you cannot do anything about them. Let me give an example. If you are seeing, let's say you are being shown an accident, or someone you know, or one of your loved ones, you see a person getting involved on an accident. It's going to be pointless if you can't do anything about it. Whether you want the person to avert the accident, or you were able to intercede and actually change the outcome, change the events that are about to take place. I've met seers, I've sat down with seers who they can see in the spirit, but their ability to see now kind of becomes a torture, because they would see horrible things, and those horrible things they saw, they still came to pass anyway. And then the question becomes, then what's the whole point of seeing? If, for example, you would say, let's say someone close to you, you would see your mother dying, and then your mother will die, and you will come and say, I saw it. So what? For what purpose? Was it maybe to warn your mother? Was it maybe to warn the family members so that you can prepare themselves before the whole thing takes place? There has to be a purpose, and that's why I always say that God doesn't do things. He doesn't give us prophetic experiences to satisfy our curiosity, right? God is not an entertainer, and this is also the other thing that so many people, like for example, you are a seer who wishes and you desire that your gift will operate more consistently and more accurately, but you are not someone who is interested in prayer. So if you're not now someone who's interested in prayer, then you want to see for what purpose? Because you might begin to see things that you are not even in a position and to be able to handle that. You see, so one of the primarily assignment of a seer is that a seer is an intercessor. A seer spends a great deal of time praying for individuals, praying for cities, praying for nations, praying for churches, praying for leaders. So if you are a seer, but you're just interested in maybe standing in front of an audience and say, I see this and blow minds, and people getting excited that you can see stars, then you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So you have to start taking very serious intercession. So as a seer, every single day there should be time allocated in your prayer to the ministry of intercession, wherein you're not praying for yourself, but you stand in the gap, whether for your church, your family, your city, your nation, your leaders. But you have to constantly give yourself to intercession, right? Because God is going to be showing you, like I said on the previous videos, let's say, for example, God might want to birth a new move on earth, right? Maybe there's a certain group of leaders. Sometimes maybe you're not even part of them, but you are shown what God is going to do through a certain group of people. And the Lord might assign you to pray for that group of people. They don't even know you. Maybe the next great move of God upon the face of the earth, and God is showing you, I'm going to do this through this person and this person and this person. Your job is to pray for them and pray the move that I will start birth through them. So you are the seer. You have the privilege now to be shown things that God is about to do, to be shown the global move of God, to be shown which direction God is going to be moving in your city, to be shown which direction is God going to be moving in the local church. You are there. God is giving you classified communications, and then you stand in the gap. You pray for the people God's going to be using. You pray for that work, and or maybe the enemy is trying something, is plotting something against a church. The enemy is plotting something against a certain nation. Again, you received classified communication from the Lord to say, okay, in this nation, it's 1, 2, 3 is going to happen, and this group of people gonna be responsible for, let's say, is a terrorist attack, and the Lord shows you that, and you must now stand in the gap and intercede against the plan and the work of the enemy. You see, so the ministry of prayer is very foundational. Is very foundational to the ministry of the seer, or the ministry of a watchman, right? And then, of course, as a seer, again, you can be given words of warning. You might be sent to different leaders. You might be sent to nations. There comes that time wherein God instructs you to give warning to that nation, give warning to that individual, give warning to this and stuff. But the foundation of it all is prayer, is the ministry of intercession. So the question is, how dedicated, how much have you given yourself to the ministry of prayer? You see, because there's so many people who are anxious, who wants to move in the seer dimension, wants to be established in the seer dimension, but they have no burden for the ministry of prayer. They have no heart. They want just the spectacular. Are you here? And remember, I told you, God doesn't gossip. So the Lord is not going to be showing you things just, for no apparent reasons. If God is showing you something, you are either part of the solution or part of the problem. So God doesn't gossip. He doesn't tell you and show you things for fun. Okay? And the second thing that you must do, if you want to grow in the seer dimension, is you must protect your imagination. You must protect what you put inside of you. Remember, whatever you fix your eyes on, it will grow on the inside of you. Some of you see as you have dreams that are very contaminated because you don't really protect what you allow into your spirit, what you allow into your subconscious mind. Remember, your eyes and your ears, they're like gates. So whatever it is that you're constantly looking at, you're constantly watching, whatever it is that you're constantly listening to, it's going to get into your subconscious mind. It's going to begin to contaminate the voice of God in your spirit. So that's the third thing. You must be strict, and I know it. You will come as a weird person once you start to develop that type of discipline to protect yourself from contamination, because that might mean that might mean stopping watching certain types of movies. That might mean stop reading certain types of books. That might mean stop having some type of communications, which are things that might be entertaining the soul, and the people around you might not understand that you're no longer interested in them. So whatever it is that contaminates, that could contaminate your dreams, like for example, there are certain devilish and godly movies that you will watch them, and then that night your dreams are just crazy and contaminated, and it's evident based on what you see on your dreams that this influence came from that dream. That movie. You see that? So you have to understand that God uses what is inside of you to communicate to you. Even Jesus said the Holy Spirit will remind you whatsoever I have told you. So there are certain things that you study, there are certain teachings that you hear, the things you study that the Lord later on can use them to communicate with you. Which brings me to the last point. The last point is, then you must study the symbolic language after that. You need to understand a system of symbols. It's not a science, but the more knowledge you have about symbols and their meanings, is the more the Holy Spirit can be able to take these things and use them to communicate with you. So in a way, you position yourself, you prepare yourself that when God begins to move you and use certain things, you don't now start running around trying to understand stuff. So you have to acquaint yourself with the symbolic language, because symbolism is the language of the spirit realm. It's the language of dreams. It's the language of visions. So the symbolic language is very important for you to grow in the seer dimension. So I'm Blacksmith, and I'm going to be seeing you on the next video. I'm signing out.